Good morning, everyone. I'm a little late today. I was having an exciting Tuesday tutoring session with my 14-year-old student in India, and it's fun. She really makes me think. She really makes me wonder, and feel grateful that people really can grow up with some of the wisdom that they have even when they're young. And so last week, she came at me with this full list. She'd been reading some blog on LinkedIn or somewhere, and she wanted to focus on critical thinking. And I kind of chuckled and I thought, whoo, that's a big menu. Do I do this the sciencey way, or do I do this let's look at your background, let's look at your life experiences so far, and let's see what we can do to help out here. So we didn't get very far last week. And then I said, well, send me this list of things that you think that you would like to evolve in your life. And so she sends it to me a half hour before our session this morning. So there wasn't a lot of prep time, but I realized that life isn't about having a lot of prep time. You have to take people where they are at the moment they are. So when she came on board, I realized that an article is not driving her desire. An article is not, good morning. And for those of you who don't know this, you can always go into StreamYard and then access, and I can see you. And sometimes if you've got a question, I'll pull you online and we can talk, or else leave me your comments and I'll know what to talk about. So out of the mouth of babes come these interesting questions. And hers was, what is critical thinking? And it's like, whoa, where do you start? Because after a while, we know we have choices we're making in our lives on a daily basis. And each one of them involves observation, a little bit of analysis, even though we do it in a nanosecond. We problem solving consistently, or we're not problem solving consistently. So it took about 5 minutes for her to think back to what stimulated her interest. I said, I really can't help you unless I know the context. She basically said her teacher had used this, but the teacher had used it and somehow it left no meaning for her, but she's very, very sharp and she picked up the term critical thinking. I said, okay, great. So I said, first of all, sometimes it's just about the choices we make. I just went simple. And I said, what did you think 6-7 months ago when we started? What did you think about getting a tutor in the United States who spoke English? Because that was your job. That was your goal, was to get your English improved and to get your understanding improved. And she said, oh, I was excited. And I said, and she says, I was afraid. And I said, okay. So right there, you had two things, and you had no experience yet with me, but yet you made a choice. You felt that you would get more value by going than you would by not going. I said, that is a form of critical thinking. And here you are every week with great questions, great attitude, great interest. And I said, that's what life is about all the time. And next week we'll go into the concept of uncomfortable. I didn't go there. But today with you, I want to talk about what's uncomfortable. So I watched somebody post something the other day and they said, oh, I don't want to be salesy. Well, what does salesy mean? That's something you got in your head. That's something you got in your head, and you got to shift that vision. Because if you keep talking to someone and never let them get a word in edgewise, yep, you're being salesy, or you're being bitchy, because if you're complaining, you're just being bitchy. But if you're constantly talking to people about the berries in your shake and the boba in your shake and the get up and go you're going to have afterwards, and that's all, you don't even know if the person has a need, you don't even know if they have a desire, then that's salesy. So how do you get out of that? Well, critical thinking says that you will observe the person, you will ask questions, You will understand. Do they even want that? So, and I'm going to give this example, and this isn't a diss on anyone who communicates with me because most people know my age and they want to come at me with skincare, but nobody ever, ever, ever asks me, what am I doing now for my skincare? I'm 73. I think I got this kind of covered a little bit. Could I be better? Yes, but I'm not worried about having a facelift. I'm not worried about hiding my age. I just have a goal called be healthy. So if you wanted to come at me with a conversation about some knowledge you had on how to make skin healthier, we could probably have an engagement. Would I buy? That's another thing. But what people are becoming salesy means that you don't have any critical thinking going on around how you're going to talk to each individual person. Now, yes, when we're learning marketing, and I teach this too, you got to go out and you got to find the levels of concern or interest that people have, and you got to talk globally. But when you're in a one-on-one conversation with somebody, you're no longer global. You are now one-to-one. One-to-one is where now you have to ask questions of this person. Where are you? What's worked? What have you tried? Where do you want to go? What would feel good to you? And you absolutely, absolutely have to be willing to say, I don't think I can help you, but here's someone who can. And that will be scary for most of you all the time. That'll be scary. You'll go, hell no, I'm not saying that. But you know what? That's when you earn the highest respect from the person you're working with. Is to say, it doesn't look like it's time for us to work together. So I bring a different flavor to the marketing and the sales mentor arena. I absolutely am very, very selective with who I work with. Good morning. I actually took a risk the other day because everybody says, oh, don't say it this way. Don't say it this way. Oh, be safe. And it's like, I have never been safe in my life. I've been safe, like in the smart sense. I drive down the road very well. But if I was rock climbing, I knew how to get into the carabiner. I knew how to be belayed. If I was sailing, I knew when I needed help to lift the sails or to handle the helm in a really big raging gale. But what I'm talking about is too many people are playing their marketing and sales game of their network marketing products or their affiliate marketing products. They're playing it too safe. They're afraid to get in a conversation because of what people are going to think. So let me give you another example. When I was working with my student this morning, I asked her for a situation. I said, because I wanted to I was teaching her about how respect is shown through the eyes and make good eye contact. And she makes good eye contact with me. And I asked her, is there anybody that you don't really make good eye contact with? And it turned out it was her male teachers. And I said, from now on, your exercise will be to look them in the eye when they are speaking with you. And she says, I look at my feet. And I says, no. I said, this is where you initiate your confidence. That's part of critical thinking. You choose to be confident until you feel confident. So this is the same thing I'm going to say to you. You don't have, I got to make a sale as your driver. You can't. You can't. You have, I want to serve this person as your main focus. When you come from, I want to serve you, I want to help you do things better, but do you even have the concern? I got to ask that first. So it's like, hey, tell me what you're doing with your skin. It looks great. Is there anything that you'd like to do differently or see differently or feel differently? Now if they give you an answer, you have an opportunity not to show them your product, but to get in a conversation. And the next thing you're going to say is, what did you try? What did you think about that? Because you know what? They might have tried something that had every ingredient your product has. And you know what? You don't want to get them in a situation where they're always saying, that won't work, that won't work, that won't work. You're working to serve. When we work to serve, we work to grow into some form of collaboration, some form of sharing that maybe at some point they go, well, that one ingredient you have in there, and I happen to know a little bit about skincare, is that L-toinin that you were telling me about, where it repairs skin. My product didn't have that. So tell me more about it and what it can do. And you better be informed. Now, very few people are going to nut out a conversation into ingredients. But what I'm doing here is I'm teaching you critical thinking when it comes to sales, and you don't want to be salesy. You have to hear the distinctions your customer is living with. And if you want to sell skincare to me, and I feel I look decent at 73, you're probably not going to get into a lengthy conversation with me. Because what you don't know is all the things that I've tried, all the things that I've done, and all the things that I do. So salesy comes when you are not ready to listen to your client. Salesy occurs when you ignore anything about their past experience. And salesy comes when you never ever ask questions because that's too scary to you. You feel like you're going to lose control of the conversation. We never ever lose control of the conversation if we ask good questions. And so that's where people work with me. That's how I help people get better and smoother in their sales processes. And yes, I help you with your marketing because you've got to attract your clients. But when you hit successwithmarla.com, you have some options out there. You can connect with me with a half-hour session, and let's see what kind of questions you need to ask yourself about your business. I have some training out there that you can take a look at, and if you then feel comfortable with that, you can have a conversation with me, or I have a newsletter. But I am really focused in 2022 on helping each of you lose that myth that you live with that says my life I don't want to be salesy. If you're living with the myth called I don't want to be salesy, then we got to connect. But you got to be scrappy too. You got to be ready to get out of whatever that fear zone is you have and go for it. And I'm not saying I still can't get into fear zone, but I am saying that fear zones are meant to be destroyed. So I'm Marla Copal. I look forward to supporting you in your sales success. And I want you to get a hold of me as soon as you can because 2022 is creeping around the corner really, really fast. Talk to you soon.